I'm Jen Moore with Family Finance Success. Family Finance Success is here so that you can master the art of family and finance in a fun, focused, and practical approach. Today we're going to be talking about a hot topic, but not a hot topic. It's a hot topic after the holiday ends, but it's not so much a hot topic in the middle of it. So we are going to be talking about how to create a wise Christmas budget. There are a lot of statistics out there about Christmas shopping, but there's a couple that really stick out to me, and I wanted to share those first off before we get into how to create a wise Christmas budget. So one of the really common statistics people want to know, and actually people probably don't want to know this, but I want to know this, so I'm going to share it with you, is how much Americans typically spend on Christmas. And the number may not shock you because I think this is probably really a common number, and it's $935. That would include gifts, food, cards, postage, decorations, and sometimes travel, but most of the times that does not include travel for the average American family. That's how much they're going to spend on Christmas alone. Now, take in mind that doesn't include, like I said, most likely travel. It doesn't include the holidays leading up to Christmas, Thanksgiving, or after New Year's. So that total, the $935, could easily expand well over $1,000. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, that's pretty much right on target. You may be thinking, I wish I had $900, or you may be thinking, really, that's all people spend? So I don't know how it is that you are actually thinking, processing that number. For me, it was a shock because we don't spend nearly that much on Christmas. I'm pretty frugal, as you all know, in that manner. So I was like, wow, there's no wonder people are swiping their credit card and having the hangover spending effect after Christmas, because I think that's a lot of money. I, over in my Get a Life Tribe Facebook group, and if you're not a part of that, I'll leave the link below, asked this question: what are your tendencies typically for Christmas? And I gave them 4 options. Option number 1 was, do you tend to overspend? Option number 2 was, do you tend to underspend? Option number 3 was, do you stick to a budget? And option number 4 was, do you struggle with even coming up with money? And so the statistics, people kept choosing their option, and here's how it broke down. 43% of the people that took that poll tend to overspend on Christmas. 36% tend to stick to their budget. 1% don't keep track of what they spend, and then the other 1% struggle to find money. Now, I will just tell you for, statistical purposes, there wasn't a lot of people on this. There was about 13 people that took this poll. So the 1% that struggle to find money for Christmas, I would bet if I would take a much larger poll, that would increase to probably somewhere between the 20 to 30% as well. But again, I can't back that up because that was just the poll that I took. So with that, you can clearly take away that overspending for the holiday is very typical. So today I'm going to teach you 5 steps that help you combat that overspending, and then also hopefully help people that are struggling to find money and help you stick to the budget. So I'm trying to encompass all of those options in this video today. So I hope that you will stay tuned. Step number 1 for creating a wise budget is that you have to plan early. There's hands down nothing better than planning early. How early, Jen? How early should I plan? That's completely up to you. The typical Christmas account at a bank, you get it paid to you in October, and usually it will start back up in January. So I think that you should be planning as early as Christmas, for next Christmas. I think January is a great time to start planning. And that honestly scares a lot of people because they're saying, you know what, I didn't even have enough money to spend on this Christmas. How am I going to spend money on next Christmas or save money right now in January? So maybe it's not that you're actually sitting down and saving money, but you're going to go through this process. So creating the budget, creating the plan for how much you're going to save needs to start as early as January of that year. So step number 2 is creating a list of who you're going to buy for. Again, this seems so simple, but if you're like most people, you always have that person that buys you something and then you feel guilty. So you're like, okay, I've got to buy them something. Or you just honestly get into the season and you're like, well, you know what? I want to give to my neighbor and I want to give to the postman and I want to give. And you just don't, you don't foresee that. So one of the things that I always do is I make a list of anyone that I think that I may even consider giving a gift to. And I'm actually making a printable of this that you can get if you join the FNF Success newsletter. And there's going to be more about that in the blog post that accompanies this. But I'm making a list of any person that you may think you ever want to give to during the holidays. And honestly, the list can go on and on and on. But these are the typical people. And like I said, you think that's easy, but you sit down and then you realize your list is 35 people and you think $10 a piece for 35 people is $350. And that may be way more than somebody has to spend on Christmas. So don't let this scare you, but sit down and really brainstorm all of the people that you want to buy for. Now, the third step to creating this wise Christmas budget is to assign a money amount with each person. This, again, oh my goodness, people, I know I'm really challenging you today, aren't I? I feel like I'm telling you this and you're thinking, great, so now I've got $350 for these, 35 people, but well, you probably want to spend more than $10 on your children, and you probably want to spend more than $10 on your parents, maybe your spouse. So you have to sit down and assign a money amount to each person. And then this is where the questions start rolling in. This is where I always get it. Well, what do you think is an acceptable number to spend, amount of money to spend on your children? Do you think it matters how if I spend more on one child and less on the other? Should they have the equal number of presents? I don't have all of those answers. That is really a personal decision with you and your spouse or you and whoever it is. But one of the things that we do in our family is we have a gift limit and we have a money limit. And whichever one we hit first for that child is where we stop. So if we assign 4 gifts per child and we don't hit the money amount that we spent, then you know what? We're done. They don't really know, honestly, especially if you're actually planning ahead and getting a list. If you hit everything that's on their list and you didn't spend your money amount, consider that a win and celebrate and just be done. There's no point in stretching your money if you don't have to. Okay, so after you have made your list, step number 4 is to budget for things that are not gifts. Right? So at the beginning, we talked about this $935, and that was kind of inclusive. It included food and cards and postage and decorations. Well, so far we've just talked about spending on gifts. So we need to make sure that we are budgeting for the broken Christmas lights and the photos for the Christmas cards and the Christmas cards and all the parties that we're going to have to make food for. This is something that slides through the cracks and can actually blow your Christmas budget very, very easily if you are not planning ahead for them. So you want to make sure that you include however much you think you're going to spend, price it out again, do your research, and include all of that, all those items that are non-gift items in your Christmas budget. The 5th step in creating the wise Christmas budget, and I bet you thought we were done, but we're not, is actually deciding how you're going to save the money. If we don't sit down and we don't say in January or February that big total, that big amount of money that you have for your Christmas budget, how are we going to break that down into smaller executable steps, then we are not going to follow through with it. So sitting down and saying, okay, husband, whatever your husband's name is or whatever your wife's name is, we are going to save $75 every other paycheck until it gets to October or November. That's how we're going to save. Or anytime that we sell an item, or anytime that we have an extra side job, all of that money is going to go to our Christmas budget. So that way you are setting a goal for yourself to have this Christmas budget, and that you don't spend it. Just like an emergency fund, your Christmas fund isn't supposed to be there for the time that you really want to go to a concert but you can't afford it. You want to keep your Christmas budget separate from all of your other things. And so deciding how you're going to save for that and where you're going to save for that is really, really important to sticking with it. I personally like banks that have a savings, it's like a Christmas club or something dedicated just for that, because typically then you can't get into it. Okay guys, so those are the 5 steps to creating a wise Christmas budget. Now, I have to tell you, I have a 4-part series on how to save for the holidays. This was done 2 years ago, and I love this series. The 4 parts are gifts, food, decorations, and travel. So if you're struggling to come up with the money, or you look at it and you think, wow, no wonder I'm always swiping my credit card at the end of the season, because there's a lot more included in a Christmas budget than what I thought. Go check out this series. I'm going to link each one of the series below. Each one of them have a video and a blog post with them, so that way you can, watch it while you're on the way to work or whatever it is that you need to do. So that way you can learn some ways to save on the holidays. I think that we all at this time want to have a really nice, experience, and a lot of the times money holds us back and we just can't do it. And it's heartbreaking when we can't give our children things that they want, but at the same time it does build character, I believe. So remember that it is good to give, but we need to do it within our means. And I hope that this series and the 5 steps help you do that. Again, don't forget that I'm going to have a couple of printables just for the people that sign up for the F&F Success newsletter. You can do that again in the link below, and that is going to go until October of this year, because after October of this year, you guys really should be all planned out and ready to go and ready to execute how you're going to save, what you're getting people, and I've already done that research. If you have any comments, questions, or you're really stuck on something, reach out to me. You can do it in the comments below, or you can actually email me at jen@familyfinancesuccess.com, and that's JEN. I can't wait to talk to you guys next week, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.